So I'm pretty excited about showing you how to make your makeup look perfect and flawless. So let's go. And this doesn't involve a whole load of makeup, by the way. Like, we're not, you know, contouring like crazy or anything like that. We are gonna make this really easy to understand and easy to do. So let's get started. I've already got my skincare and primer on. I'm gonna go straight in to prep my eyelids. So what I do here is apply my concealer and then set it, and then we're done with the eyelids. So I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm just gonna do a couple of dots here so we can get that nice coverage. So this is my beauty blender. We're just gonna blend over. So I've got my powder puff, gonna go into my powder, which is my Huda Beauty Easy Bake in banana bread. Press on, get your brush. I'm using the Real Techniques brush. And then just dust off. Now that's primed my eyelids, so I'm ready to do the rest of the face. I don't need to worry about my eyelids. That's it, we're all done. Now I'm gonna use my NARS Sheer Glow foundation in Aruba, and I'm gonna apply this all over. We're actually gonna be sandwiching the concealer in today because it's just a much kind of easier way for people. Like, it just appeals to anyone really. Like, if you're used to underpainting, then this is still gonna work for you because you'll understand it. If you prefer putting foundation on first, then this is perfect for you because you understand that way of applying it. So it's kind of like a happy medium. So I've got my BK Beauty 106 brush, and I'm just gonna buff this all over. So what we're doing is really pressing it in. We're not kind of going in circular movements. I'm kind of pressing and flicking down or up, whichever way you prefer. You really want to get a nice even finish all over the skin, all over the face really. But you want to get a nice thin layer. But you'll find that when you apply this thin layer in this way, you get a lot of kind of like good coverage from it without it looking too heavy. Whatever's left on the brush, you then go over the nose. Always do the nose last, because that way you're not packing it with a lot of makeup, because I feel like on the nose it can always look really bad when there's a lot of foundation on there. So now that we've got that layer of foundation on, I'm pretty happy with the coverage. I obviously need to cover my dark circles, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. So I've got my concealer. We're gonna apply a bit here and a bit here. Take it up here. And sides of the mouth. I've got my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood complexion brush. I'm just gonna press this in. You're kind of like dragging down a little bit, so not fully, like not all the way across. It's just kind of like small drags. And taking it up here to the top of your ear. Now to get that really flawless finish, that's why we're gonna layer on another very thin layer, an even thinner layer than initially, of foundation. So this here, I'm gonna use my brush and just kind of like, I'm pressing, but almost pressing down like that. Same thing here. Okay, so I've got my sponge. I'm now gonna blend my under eyes. So you want to keep this where it is. You want to switch the sponge round just to soak up any concealer that you feel like, you know, like there's too much of. Or apply as little or as much as you want, but honestly I would suggest that you don't go too heavy-handed with this. You can always add more if you need to. So every now and again I'm kind of going over and then flipping the sponge over to pick up any excess that I don't really need. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with a bit more foundation, but less than before. Got it on the back of my hand. I'm gonna get my sponge, buff the foundation into the sponge so it's a nice, even, ultra thin layer that we're gonna apply. And we're gonna go You can either go all over the face or just over the areas that you've just applied concealer. It's completely up to you. There you go. I'm happy with that base now. So now we're going to work on setting this. So I'm going to go into my powder with my powder puff. We're going to set this under the eyes. Now I like to go over other areas as well. You don't have to, but I tend to go over the areas that I get super shiny throughout the day, which is kind of like around my mouth here and my nose. So next what I do is I get my veil brush from Hourglass and my Real Techniques setting brush. I'm going to dust off this powder on the under eyes first. Then we're going to dust off the powder. See how we've got literally a flawless base. So I'm going to get my REPHR 18 brush and my Fenty Beauty Sunstalk'r in Island Ting. And this is where we're going to just sculpt a bit. We don't want to go crazy with it. So I'm going from the top of part of the ear and kind of very lightly going towards this bit here, but we're never kind of like reaching there. So we've got like that really nice soft sculpt. Now I'm going to go along the hairline on the temples, just there. I personally prefer using a bronzer to sculpt because I feel like if you're clever about the shade that you pick, I'm just going underneath the jawline by the way, just to shape it out. If you are clever about the shade that you pick, it can work as a really good contour, which is actually the perfect color for you, because I feel like Fenty do such a variety of colors with bronzers that you can very easily pick a shade which is great for contouring so that it's not overly warm, but it does kind of give the illusion of a shadow there, but it's not gray. You know, I'm just so fed up of grays. Like everyone talks about contouring and they're like, no, you need to go for a gray shade because it replicates the shadow, but it looks ridiculous on the face on some people, especially when you are darker skin tone. It's like that doesn't work. It doesn't always have to be such cool tones. Yes, they work great on certain skin tones, but sometimes what if you do want a little bit of a kind of like sun-kissed look along with it without having to use a completely separate bronzer as well as your contour? So I just feel like, you know, there's no point people walking around saying there are no rules to makeup when then there's people saying that there are rules. It's like you've got to have a little bit of fun with it and also understand that forget about what the, I can rant about this all day. Forget about what it says on the packaging. Just forget that. Because if I took this out, just this, and put it into another separate packaging and it said contour shade, you'd be like, oh great. Do you see what I mean? So this, we need to just relax a bit when it comes to makeup. It's so frustrating sometimes. It's like, you've just got to look at the shade that you're picking. Got my Fenty 200 brush, gonna dip into that same shade and I'm just gonna go along the sides of the bridge of my nose. I'm literally keeping my hand still and just moving my fingers, and this is gonna really help to give me that nice slim nose. And then I just do a little V here to make the tip of my nose look a bit smaller. I just love this base because I just feel like it is kind of, well, it is flawless, and you just have this perfect kind of look where it's just as perfect as you can get it, you know? Yeah, hopefully you like it too. So what I'm gonna do next is sort my brows out. So I've got my Benefit Fluff Up Brow Wax. I'm just gonna I have, with certain products like this one, I just feel like because they're less sticky, I have to really make sure I get it all the way around each hair and then I brush it up. Just brushing it through isn't really going to help with certain products. And then I just kind of press. So I really kind of go through the hair, then I brush through. We're gonna let that dry. Now I wanna do a very subtle eye look, so I'm gonna just use this brush here. This is my BK Beauty 202 brush, and I've got my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes the Neutrals palette, and I'm gonna use number 6. It's a very kind of medium taupe shade, and then I dip into it and then I dip onto a tissue to take all the excess off. You really want to keep dipping on the tissue because you don't want a lot of product. We're going to look down into the mirror, we're going to lift the brows very slightly, we're going to go just where the crease is and just go back and forth. We're creating a little semicircle there. It's very important that you don't have a lot of product on this brush. So look, I'm dipping a couple of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the tissue, like pressing. You want minimal product. This is just a great way to create kind of, just enhance your shapes all over the face. Like, you know, like the eyelid, you're enhancing it, but you're not really going crazy with eyeshadow. It's not like you're trying to create an eyeshadow look. You're just enhancing your kind of crease area so it doesn't look so flat. Now I'm gonna get that same brush, just make sure all the product is off. This is an old palette, but I do love it. It's the Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals Morphe palette, and I'm gonna use the shade Just Barely, and again dip onto the tissue, and I'm actually gonna go all over the lid, all over what I've just applied. And this is just gonna kind of soften everything I've done and just tie everything together. Okay, so now the brows are probably dry enough for me to kind of do them. So I've got my Lime Crime Bushy Brow pen. I'm gonna now draw in some hairs. Make sure that the hair stroke that you're drawing in is going in the same direction as the hair. Okay, so I've got my Charlotte Tilbury Brow Cheat, and I'm just gonna, wherever I feel like I still need, like I need more depth than what the brow pen then can give me, I'm just gonna apply it. I'm still doing kind of like light strokes, it's nothing heavy. We are just going to curl the lashes very quickly. It's really important to curl your lashes before you apply mascara, unless you have naturally curly lashes, like curled lashes. So I'm using my Saie Mascara 101. So I'm trying a lot more of these products because obviously they've just recently launched in this region and I'm loving it. This is a really good mascara. I'm using the Saie Lip Liner 101 in Tease, and I love this lip that I'm about to create. It just finishes off the look to look even more perfect. So I'm gonna line my lips with this. It's quite a dark shade, but bear with me. You wanna get a nice clean edge. And then feather in. I know it's quite a dark lip line, but again, bear with me. Another reason I actually really love this lip liner is because it is like an old school lip liner. It's like just very basic, but it's just what you need. You don't need it to be so waxy. It's a proper pencil, so it transfers really, really well onto the skin. You're gonna get a lip brush before you even apply any lipstick. We're gonna blend it in. So we're gonna go from the lip line in. You want a lip brush which is very flat, and this is a good one. This is a Charlotte Tilbury one. Okay, we've got a really nice kind of deep brown lip. I'm gonna use my Anastasia Lip Velvet in Peachy Nude. You want a very small amount of this. There. Now I'm gonna blend this in. You're gonna get your Rare Beauty Lip Souffle in Inspire. Apply this all over the lip, but not close to the lip line. Use your lip brush to blend into the lip line. You're kind of like not going into the lip line, you're taking the lip line into the colour. Blot again. And you are done, and this gives you the perfect lip. When I say perfect, I mean perfect. This isn't gonna go anywhere. Even if you go close up, the lip line is not overly harsh, even though it looked like that initially, but it's so smooth, it's so perfect. This is why this pencil is a really good pencil for your lip line, and just the way of doing this, it gives you the most kind of like, it's like a natural lip color. It's like, it doesn't look like you've packed on a whole load of product. And I personally think that this gives you a great look, and I love this color as well, because it's giving you that depth with the brown, but the kind of like, the kind of orangey, kind of burnt orange look that you get from the Rare Beauty really adds that kind of vibrancy without it looking too bright. It's a great lip, I love it. This is one of my favorite lips. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. As you can see, it does give you that really nice, flawless look. Everywhere you look, everything has been done as perfect as it can be done. So like, there's no blurriness, there's no messiness, there's no kind of like, oh, this is a bit too harsh there. Like, everything has been focused on very perfectly, and it's a look that I personally feel that anyone, like, it will suit anyone. On that note, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments box below. Don't forget I have an online publication called the Beauty Breakfast Club, growing an amazing beauty community over there, so you might want to head on over and check it out. You're going to find so many articles for you guys to read. Everything from beauty, health, culture, life, hot topics, trends, product reviews, everything. And there are two versions of subscription. One is free, which gives you access to most of the site. The other is paid, but it's literally just going to cost you the equivalent to a coffee a month, so it's not much, and gives you access to the whole site and a chat room where we can chat, me and you, and so many more articles. So head on over, subscribe. I would really love to see you guys over there. And I have a vlog channel which has vlogs and a podcast on it, which you might want to head over and check, that I host with my husband. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. So until the next time, take care, and I'll see you soon.